everybody, and welcome to this special on transiting Mercury in Aries. I'm Amani. I'm a karmic, holistic, astrological life coach, and I like to go in depth in all that I do, and all of my interpretations, especially when it comes to Venus, Mercury, Sun transits and everything really, are based on Vedic astrology, which is based on where the planets or the luminaries, which are the Sun and the Moon, are any given time in the sky. And all times are in GMT time as well. So yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah. So this year, Mercury is in Aries from the 6th of May at 11:38 p.m. until the 23rd of May at 8:33 a.m. when Mercury enters Taurus. So first I'm just going to do the summary version of what it means when Mercury enters Aries, and then I'm going to go in depth. So positively, when Mercury is in Aries, we can be more assertive and confident in our communication. It turns up our ability to express ourselves assertively and clearly. Our words can carry more conviction, belief and faith, making our communication more direct and impactful. It motivates us to take charge of our ideas and projects. It's an excellent time to start, initiate new ventures, projects and pursue, go after your goals with renewed energy. Our mind can become more sharp and decisive, allowing us to think on our feet and respond swiftly, quickly to opportunities and challenges. Negatively, the impulsive nature of Aries can lead to rushed decisions and the tendency to act without fully considering the consequences. There can be conflict because we can be more direct and sometimes come across as abrupt or aggressive or uncaring, or as, overstepping others' boundaries. So we have to make sure we respect other people's boundaries and actively listen, and just try not to do too much, as this can lead to misunderstandings and friction, tension in relationships. We may have an overemphasis on ourselves and focus on our own ideas and our own needs, and this can make it challenging to listen to and consider other people's perspectives and needs. So we just have to, again, make sure that we do listen to other people's perspectives, yes, assert yourself, but allow others the room to do the same too, So the best use of this energy is to express your ideas confidently, take the lead in discussions or projects, balance impulsiveness with reflection, take time, moments to reflect on your actions and words, and consider different viewpoints to think before you act and react, engage in active learning, delve into new subjects or skills with enthusiasm, and, leverage Aries' motivating influence to enchant, make your learning process better, So practically, just make sure that you take a breath to make sure your words are both assertive and respectful. Be willing to listen and adapt your approach based on others' insights. Use Aries' dynamic energy to tackle tasks requiring initiative and action, so restarting projects, starting projects, maintaining balance and openness, as well as using Mercury's transit in Aries' energetic qualities, and this is how you can make meaningful progress in your personal, professional life without getting into too much arguments, right? So that's the summary version. Now I'm going to talk about the karma, more about the practical applications, financial, psychological, and how it affects relationships and development and all that good stuff. So yeah, as I said, practically it brings a spark of creativity. When Mercury is in Aries, we can find ourselves, going after projects that we avoided with renewed energy and a can-do attitude. It's a great time and energy to use to brainstorm, brave ideas and take action swiftly, quickly. But we just have to be cautious of impulsive decisions, reactions, actions. While action is good, make sure you thought through the consequences to avoid unnecessary risks. So take the risks, but think about it first. Do you really want to suffer the consequences of what you're doing? So yeah, In terms of the financial meanings, it can level up our confidence in our financial decisions, encouraging us to take calculated risks that can help us make significant returns in our investment. Our assertiveness may also help us negotiate better deals. Negatively, there's a risk of overspending or making impulsive financial choices. Keep your budget in check and avoid rush investments without proper research. Politically, leaders can be more braver, courageous, decisive in leadership, and innovative in policy making. Leaders may use new ideas and strategies to drive progress, but the impulsive nature of Aries, once again, can result in rushed decisions or aggressive communication, and this could lead to conflicts, so diplomacy, cooperation, compromise and careful consideration are key. In terms of the materialistic, social, collective impact, it increases our, sense of creativity and wanting newness and starting new things, going after what we really want, being progressive, forward thinking. But there's an increased risk of competition negatively and impatient, and this can lead to social tensions, conflict, but it supports collaboration and mutual respect to maintain harmony, So yeah, as I said, consider other people's perspectives and make sure you enforce your boundaries in a healthy way. Psychologically, as I said, it makes us more direct and assertive, especially in our communication skills. Our confidence is increased, so this means we can express our thoughts and ideas more clearer and be more impactful in conversations. It motivates us to take charge of projects and go after our goals with enthusiasm. But negatively, once again, the impulsive energy of Mercury in Aries can lead to rush decisions, abrupt communication, misunderstandings and conflicts, and being overly focused on our own ideas, which can make it challenging to respect other people's perspectives, Spiritually, it's time to use your braveness and courage in your spiritual journey to express your truth confidently and take charge of your personal growth, aligning your actions and your spiritual goals. But negatively, there's a risk of spiritual impatience where you may rush through reflective practices, missing out on deeper insights and inner peace. Esoterically, this energy symbolises the power of mental clarity and the importance of taking charge of your thoughts. It supports you being able to use your mind as a tool for transformation and spiritual growth, and this can lead to mental restlessness or an overactive mind. This can distract you from your spiritual goals, but symbolically and creatively, it represents the need to balance action with thought. It's time to confidently act on your ideas while maintaining mental clarity. Creatively, it inspires brave and innovative ideas, creating a dynamic approach to creative and artistic expression. But negatively, it can lead to scattered energy and unwasted creative effort. So only put your energy where you are going to follow through on, and our ideas can lack direction, consistency or logic, which can be a good thing. Creativity is mostly based on intuition, but we need the logic to help us with our consistent routines to bring our creativity to life by either daily, step by step, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour working on our creative projects, or whatever, whatever time you spend on them depends on, the time that you have, but always find the time, even if it's just a minute, Emotionally, transiting Mercury in Aries can make you feel more passionate and driven about your interests. It supports assertive emotional expression and the pursuit of your desires, going after your desires with enthusiasm. But negatively, there's a risk of emotional impatience or frustration if things don't progress as quickly as you would like. So maintaining emotional stability and balance, a mix, in between Aries' energetic influence is important. All in all, remember to, practice mindful communication, balance action with reflection, think about the consequences of your actions and decisions, and also do grounding activities. such as Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, or physical exercise to maintain focus and clarity, to avoid mental restlessness. So focus on increasing your communication, spiritual growth, and emotional well-being, So now I'm just going to talk about the aspects that Mercury makes when it goes into Aries, and these will flavour the whole, 2 to 3 weeks Mercury's in Aries this year. So Mercury makes a sextile to Jupiter, so this makes us be able to communicate with more enthusiasm and be more inspiring, and we can just be optimistic in general, which is good. But negatively, we can be ungrounded, so it's important to keep our communication grounded and focused. Mercury makes a conjunction to Chiron, so it may bring up old wounds, and this is the tightest transiting aspect Mercury's making. So it's a time where we should confront past hurts and vulnerabilities. It gives us an opportunity to heal, a chance to mend and improve our communication style, and to express ourselves more authentically. But negatively, as it can bring up sensitive issues, we have to build and work with our emotional resilience to find our way through this effectively. Mercury also makes a semi-sextile to the moon's north node, so this is also a strong influence, as well as Mercury's quincunx to the south node, what I'm going to talk about in a bit, both at 0.37 applying, and Mercury's conjunction to Chiron is 0.11 degree applying. So so Mercury's semi-sextile to the north node knows subtle energy that helps us to be positive in our personal development and proactive in our communication. It supports us aligning our communication with our future growth and being more having more purposeful relationships and interactions, talks with others. Mercury's quincunx to the south node supports us making the necessary changes for growth, and it prevents old patterns from getting in the way of our progress. But the whole process of healing, facing our emotional, psychological and spiritual traumas can just make us feel uncomfortable. So we just have to be patient and flexible and love on ourselves and take changes as slow as need be, and don't compare yourself with others' progress, Mercury also makes a trine to the ascendant, so it helps us, make communication choices that align with our self-image, that resonates our personality, and it can give us the ability to be more confident and clear and articulate in our social conversations as it levels up our confidence. So this can just make our conversations more smooth and effective right now, but we just need to watch out for becoming overly dominant in our communication, because again we can be aggressive and impatient. So have your say and allow others to have their say as well. Mercury also makes an opposition to the midheaven, so it brings tension between expressing ourselves assertively and maintaining a professional manner, but we just have to be aware and make sure we communicate once again in a way that respects everyone's needs, and make sure we maintain harmony between personal and professional expression. So now I'm just going to talk about the aspect patterns that's affecting Mercury in Aries this year. First, we've got a T-square between the Ascendant in Scorpio, the North Node in Pisces, and Jupiter in Taurus, 32%. Then we've got a yard between the Midheaven in Libra, Saturn and the Moon's North Node in Pisces, and Uranus in Taurus at 15%. And then we've got two stelliums with Venus, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune and the North Node and Saturn in Pisces at 17%. So the T-square helps us expand ourselves spiritually. It helps us to expand our self-image and focus on our spiritual goals right now, and we can make personal and spiritual progress if we focus on it. But there can be a tension between balancing our self-image with spiritual growth, so we just have to try and find that balance. The yard allows us to be disciplined in our spiritual practice and maintain social harmony, and and it's a call to lead or transform our communication style to align with our spiritual values, supporting us being innovative in our thinking, which Mercury in Aries wants us to do. But negatively, it can make us feel overwhelmed if our responsibilities are not managed with self-care and balance. And the two stelliums allow us to communicate more empathetically and imaginative, but we can just get lost in illusions and avoid reality, because Neptune energy, Pisces energy can always make us run from ourselves, right? And escape into intoxicating substances, overtaking drugs and alcohol, and involving ourselves in toxic relationships or self-destructive habits, you know. But it helps us to be more loving to ourselves and others, and more loving in our communication as well, more open and empathetic and compassionate with ourselves and others. But negatively, the over-reliance on emotions can lead to indecision. But it's important to maintain the balance, you know, and make sure, yes, you're compassionate, but you don't overstep other people's boundaries, nor have your boundaries overstepped, you know. In terms of the karmic lessons, it wants us to learn how to balance our communication and express ourselves assertively without aggression. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're heard without causing harm. It wants us to understand the impact of our words and actions. It's not just about being first, but also about being thoughtful. It wants us to self-reflect on our communication style and ask ourselves if our words inspire or divide, you know. In terms of our past life memories and dreams, we can recall past lives as a warrior or a leader where communication was crucial, important, you know, but sometimes led to conflict. It also may bring dreams where we may have to make tough decisions or speak up in difficult situations. We might also remember times where we held back our thoughts, you know, being the silent observer that led to missed opportunities, you know. So these dreams are just telling us to really work on our communication skills. In terms of the collective karma, it can highlight problems like misinformation or aggressive rhetoric, you know, smooth talking society where people use words to change people's minds, but it's not always for the best, you know. There's also a push for more empathetic and truthful communication, and it supports using communication to heal and connect rather than divide, you know. In terms of how Mercury in Aries affects our relationship, in family relationships, it brings open and honest communication. Family members can express their needs more clearly, creating understanding and unity. Negatively, impulsiveness may lead to harsh words, causing hurt feelings. So remember to balance braveness with empathy. In terms of our friendships, our conversations can become more exciting. Friends can inspire each other to take action, motivating, sparking new ideas and adventures. But negatively, competitiveness can come up, creating tension. So, you know, it encourages us to work in teams and celebrate each other's wins. In terms of co-worker relationships, communication can become more straightforward, leading to efficient problem solving and progress in projects. But quick decisions may overlook important details, so take a moment to consider all perspectives. In terms of committed couples, communication can become more passionate and direct, and this can strengthen our bond, but impatience could lead to conflicts, so make time to listen and understand each other. In terms of our hookup relationships, open and honest communication about our desires leads to more satisfying connections, but moving too fast negatively can cause misunderstandings, so take it slow and make sure you're on the same page. If you're single and self-partnered, it's a great energy for self-reflection and focusing on your personal goals. You can feel inspired to take actions on your goals and aspirations, but restlessness can make it impatient. So trust the timing and enjoy the journey, you know, because sometimes we can get caught up in the destination. I've been there, but when you slow down, take step by step daily steps, it's less stressful than rushing, you know. So yeah, in terms of career development, it can level up our career career by increasing our communication skills and also taking initiative. It's a great time to take brave steps, negotiate and showcase your ideas confidently. If you're in a competitive field profession, this transit can give you an edge, but we have to be cautious of impulsive decisions and aggressive communication, so make sure you think through your actions to avoid unnecessary conflicts or rush decisions. In terms of personal development, it can increase your confidence and motivation. You may feel more driven to achieve personal goals, and you may find it easier to take the initiative in various aspects of your life. Negatively, there's a risk of becoming overly competitive or impatient, so practice being patient and balance your drive, motivation with empathy to maintain healthy relationships, especially the one you should be having with yourself. In terms of your spiritual development, it inspires us to look into new spiritual ideas and practices. It's a great time to explore different paths and take different action towards your spiritual growth. But negatively, burnout can get in the way, so we have to balance action with reflection and relaxation. Make sure you take time for mindfulness and meditation and fun time to stay grounded. In terms of your educational development, learning can become more engaging and dynamic. You might pick up new skills quickly and find studying more enjoyable. Stay focused and avoid distractions. Keep your goals clear to maintain concentration and avoid scattering your energy. In terms of self-partner development, it increases our self-communication and personal growth. It's a great time for self-reflection and setting personal goals. But negatively, we have to be kind to ourselves and avoid self-criticism. Use your self-partnered journey to build your compassion and patience. So now I'm just going to finish up with the best activities to do during transiting Mercury in Aries. So look into brave and innovative ideas. This is a perfect time to think outside of the box and explore new creative avenues. Don't just think, act. Start the project you've been planning and let your creativity flow without hesitation. Express yourself more confidently. Say your ideas, whether it's through art, writing or any other medium that lets your voice be heard. For professionals, lead with confidence, take care of new projects and communicate your vision clearly. Your assertiveness can inspire your team and drive success. Attend events and meetings with a proactive attitude. Your brave, courageous communication can open up new opportunities and strengthen connections. Entrepreneurs should use this energy to kickstart your business ideas. Your brave approach can attract attention and drive growth. Make sure your message is clear and direct, whether it's through marketing or client meetings. Your communication can set you apart. For alternative healers, support your clients in taking proactive steps towards well-being. Your clear communication can motivate them to use change, and be open to changing their habits that are destroying them and get outside of their comfort zone. Also, alternative healers should share their knowledge to educate others about their healing practices. Your confidence can make your message more impactful. For lovers, strengthen your relationship with honest and direct communication. This can deepen your connection and resolve any misunderstandings. Use this energetic time to plan exciting activities together, whether it's a trip or a new hobby. Keep the spark alive with adventure. Singles and self-partnered, use this time to self-reflect and focus on your personal development. Explore new interests and hobbies that bring you joy. Be more proactive. If you're looking for a relationship, take the initiative to meet new people. Your confidence can make social interactions, relationships more fruitful, beneficial right now. So In conclusion, transit Mercury in Aries is a powerful transit that offers both opportunities and challenges. By working with the positive energies and being mindful of the potential pitfalls, you can effectively find your way through this period, whether it's enhancing your practical tasks, managing finances, or engaging socially. Remember to stay focused and proactive, and by aligning your activities with the dynamic energy of Mercury transit in Aries, you can make the most of this transit and achieve your goals, especially your communication goals, with confidence and enthusiasm. So let the energy of Aries inspire brave yet thoughtful actions in your life. So yeah, that's the end of this special on all things Mercury transiting in Aries. I'm Amani. Take care and see you next time.